Thank you. It's always very nice to be back to JSB. It's like a home. Thank you very much, sir, and Dr. Nayak, and sir, Mr. Tandon. My compliments to all of you for grooming such young minds. They have critical thinking. I can see it, and I think my fellow panelist, Sisir sir, has also noticed it. Sisir Sinha was my super senior from Banaras University. So I'm really fortunate to be here today. I'm really glad. You people have original thinking capacity, which is a rare commodity in today's time, a rare phenomenon. I had seen that you intended to disagree on many things which were said about the budget. The broad sweep has been shared by three stalwarts: Dr. Rajiv Thakur, Dr. Tapan Nayak, a formidable economist he himself is, Mr. Abhik Barua. I've been following his work for at least 2.5 decades, and I read his column even now. Mr. Sardana, another veteran we have here. I would like to reflect on few things. You have rightly given me the topic industry because I come from industry. First, look at the broader trends. What compels someone to make a budget the way we see it? Soon after this meeting, I am going to meet Mr. Sanjeev Sanyal, who does the real background work for the government of India. He's an advisor to the Prime Minister of this country, and who makes financial survey, who does financial survey. Also, possibly, to an extent, makes the blueprint of the entire thing, which goes into public during the budget day. The union budget of 2025-26 is a good one. We should appreciate what the government has tried doing. But what has not been done, and as Mr. Barua has rightly said, show me the money. So the government is silent on that part because there is a limit of borrowing, and especially when you had 4.8% fiscal deficit, and again, even after doing something better, you are going to achieve a fiscal deficit which is 4.4, which is still not within the tolerable limit. 4.4% fiscal deficit is not something ideal. In India, we can say it is a good one because we had seen even the worst times in the past. I think the economic reforms process, which was started way back in 1991 and continued despite the changes in the government, should be counted as one of the key phenomena in the post-independent India that really shaped our economy and our collective consciousness to an extent. I will appreciate the government for continuing with that spirit. Second thing is our constitution that keeps a provision of directive principles. Since we are talking about the industry, MSMEs, CSR and all parts, which have binding with the industrial development. Everything originates from the directive principle. If you will read it carefully, I will urge all of you to read India's constitution whenever you have time. Whatever you do in your life, you are going to be serving in different leading organizations. You are much more fortunate than we are, and people of our generations and previous generations, because you are going to enter into a phase which is really very, very promising. So one aspect of the union budget is the continuation of economic reforms process. Second is being, if not neutral, I will say being right on the count of political economy. Oftentimes we ignore politics. This should not be done because when we are dealing with the economy, the first and foremostly, the things which come into mind is politics. What is the political compulsion of making a budget or formulating the things which were not into the order till recently? This budget is keeping close bearing with political economic compulsions of this government. This government has laid out a foundation or vision. Again, we should appreciate that to make India a developed country by 2047, a very ambitious target. We are falling short with the resources, preparedness, and show me the money aspect as well, because that is very much needed. But the plan in itself is praiseworthy, no doubt about it. While we are having a wonderful symposium here, our Prime Minister is co-chairing AI Action Summit in Paris. This again has close bearing with the union budget. Why our Prime Minister is in Paris right after the union budget. And he is setting the tone for something which is going to really save the world in the coming times. So India is going to take center stage. It has been taking center stage, but in most profound manner, I think it will be taking here on. AI is the next phenomena, and government of India, the BJP ruled government, is very much serious about making India a developed country by 2047. So Viksit Bharat is somewhere imbibed into the whole process of making the union budget of this year. So three points. Fourth point is MSMEs, which are really into distressed situation as of now. PAT Chamber of Commerce industry, which largely represents SMEs segments, more than 70% of our members are from that segment. And in India, fortunately, when we say medium means not really the small businesses. It's more than 500 crore, and it has segregations, be it in primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors. So SMEs is not a monolithic area. We need to look at it in very nuanced way. Where is the problem exactly? The union budget is looking so rosy. It is giving you, not you, because you will be joining the industry in 1 or 2 years. But by the time you will be joining, even when your package will be into 6 figures, maybe your first salary, you don't have to pay any tax. You should be happy about it. As a country, we deserve it. As the world's largest democracy, we surely deserve it. This is not something undeserving, I will tell you. But the government should have thought about it a bit. Even relaxation by 8 or 10 lakh rupees would have been okay. Now, rupees 1 lakh crore, which is supposed to come into the system as part of circular economy promotion, and which we expect, the government of India expects, that will drive the economic growth in fair manner. This is one good proposition we should anticipate, and we should hope that this will happen. Second proposition, which is also a possibility, is that whether rupees 1 lakh crore tax revenue, which is a revenue foregone now, will harm the Indian economy or not. Maybe it can harm if people have tendency of saving rather spending. Because in the post-pandemic world, you have seen that people are wary of investing too much here and there. This is a trend, a broad reflection, if I will say, from consumer point of view. But if the real spending is happening, then this budget is really super budget. We all have to admit it. One point Dr. Naik has already covered beautifully about inclusive development. Inclusivity has been enshrined into our constitutional principle. I will come to a constitution again and again, because nothing is happening without having a fairly fundamentally, super positive constitution we have in our country. That's the real grunt of this country, which makes all of us accountable for societal growth, holistic development, taking everyone along, sabka saath, sabka vikas, which is being said in today's time, and should be appreciated. When anybody is saying any good things, should be appreciated. So me, the money is another. It does course correction, or it does soul searching, a kind of thing. So money should be sourced before we drive our real ambitious agendas. As far as the numbers are concerned, we all have the access to public information, so we know that. But in a few sectors, I will just quote the numbers. For the defense sector, the allocation is 4,91,732 crore rupees. I think which is fairly high number. Fairly high number. Despite the challenges we are facing, South Asia is passing through a tough phase, no doubt, on geostrategic terms. Rural development, you see the sharp fluctuation is almost getting 50% of the defense allocation, 2,66,817 crore. This is the segment which should have been given greater focus. Home affairs is okay, 2,33,211 crores. Agri, 1,71,437 crore. And education, 1,28,650 crore. So adding agriculture, economy, and health, 98,000 crore. and health. Still, the defense sector's allocation is higher than these three key sectors, which will be the real imprints of the economy. We need to think about it. Being a nuclear power, we don't have to be so insecure about geostrategic scenario in our neighborhood, be it Bangladesh, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Nepal, and all. We have been dealing with all these countries, and we know how to deal with them. We have sufficient arms and ammunition already parked in our godowns. So no need to make defense budget so steep. This is one submission I have here. And on rest other things, I will give some good credit to the government for thinking about, giving money to the people. They should spend. This is an ideal scenario. If people are really going to spend in the market, this will not harm us, and this will also lead to the job-oriented growth. Why the government has done this? Because the government has been criticized all along for last 11 years that, okay, you have been securing somehow good 4, 5, 6% growth. During COVID, of course, it was negative growth. It was not a growth at all. I wrote many pieces with my co-author, Yashwant Sinha, former finance minister, and we did critical analysis of our own things. We should do that. I'm glad that students who are sitting here can ask us the questions. This is the beauty of the democracy. You must avail this. If you will say that everything is fair and fine, then the government will be at loss. And when the government is doing something very good, we must appreciate that also. So this tax intervention has been done with a very good intention. We should appreciate it. And let's hope that this will lead to more spending, more activities in the market, and finally, activities will lead to the growth. And this is what we need. And our demography should be seen as a dividend, not as a liability. We overcome the problems like Y2K crisis, subprime crisis in 2007 to 9, between 2007 to 9. COVID, we survived, all because of our domestic consumption. Even when you have rightly said, Dr. Nayak, that it is only India which can feed India, no other country. I come from the industry. I will tell you one thing, that investment from our country has dried up outside because we have greener shoots in our own country. We are investing here. This is the region of the hope now. So we should applaud all these things. We are going on the right track. Maybe we have to do a few tweaks here and there. That's okay. But overall, the union budget has something very promising for all of you, especially for the youth, women. Inclusivity is there, no doubt about it. It's been framed with good intention. Challenges are there upfront, and the challenges will follow as well, as Mr. Barua has rightly said, that money question. If that can be resolved, if that can be taken care of, then everything is fair and fine. Thank you very much. I will be happy to take questions after.
Thank you so much, sir.